and we'll go with that. Ooh, a bit too high, aren't I? Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs. There we go. Sort of all right, and the subtitles are going. Welcome to, Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, in which I spend roughly an hour or two going through an RPG that is on my list and reading about it, seeing what we like about it, seeing if there's anything we would improve about it, and any accessibility issues. I hope you're doing well today, those people who are out there. Thank you. Hello, Hogan. How are you, my friend? We are doing quite well today, actually. I had a nice long lie in there, and we were supposed to start this about 30 minutes ago, but then we had somebody round in the flat. So I thought, rather than trying to start on time, we'll give them enough time for them to do what they need to do. And they did, and they left, and then here we are. Let's just get right into it, really, because I'm going to try something a little bit different today. That's why I'm going to turn the music down a little bit on my end, because a bit too sad. Might change it all completely. Maybe I'll go for... I know it's very tricky. Maybe I'll do the bonus theme. Yeah, do that bonus theme. We'll see how that goes. So today, friends, we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to look at a game called Don't Play This Game, a legacy solo journaling game by Parable Games. You might have heard about it before on the podcast, the One of my rolling podcasts, where we do interviews with game designers as well as doing actual plays as well. I actually interviewed one of the team at Parable Games, Charlie Mendez. Parable Games, in case you've been living under a rock, have the sort of the Emmy Award-winning team behind Shiver, which is a horror RPG as well, and this is their first sort of foray into solo journaling games. Very excited about it. It was very interesting to talk to Charlie about it a couple of months ago. And whilst the full game is not out till I think December this year, which is so long away, I'm kind of intrigued about it. Oh, hello, Testy Trekkie. How are you doing, my friend? Yes, you should. It should be there if it's not correct. Maybe it's capital RPG, perhaps, but I'll do it again in case you need it. Oh, I've even not done it in the chat. But hello, my friend. How are you doing today? So yeah, we are doing. Yes, Don't Play This Game. So what I'm going to try and do, because basically what we're looking at today, we're going to look at the demo, which you can get still if you sign up. If you sign up to the actual main website, which is the link in the what the Nightbot's giving you, which essentially means you're signing up to their newsletter about Don't Play This Game. With a very cool little Don't Play This Game.me, or you can get it on itch.io and you name your own price for it, etc. So I'm going to look at that. Essentially, it's about 20 pages long. Most of it is the sort of demo version of the game itself, which I thought we could try and play through. Now, how much we can do it online as a stream, I don't know. We're just going to try it, and we're just going to go through it together, and maybe what we could do rather than like an actual play. So normally when I do solo role-playing games on Where, I try and record it all in one sitting and then edit it down for entertainment purposes. But maybe, and what I tend to do with that is that I tend not to like write anything down or type anything per se, but what I try to do is think about stuff, voice it out loud, and then write some stuff down, and then vocalize what happens there. I think what I do here is maybe just vocalize what I think could happen in the game, maybe take some inspiration from the chat if you guys are still around and want to engage with it, which I would very much appreciate. So I don't know how long the stream will go for. I think it's going to be roughly about 2 and a bit hours. If you're just going to lurk, that's absolutely fine as well. We're just glad to have you here. So, with all that out of the way, now the music is too quiet for me. I will never win, will I? Yeah, it's far too quiet. Let's try again. There we go. That's quite nice, quite spooky. Right, let us move away, and we'll go to small Fiona screen. And we'll see. So this is the itch.io page for Parable Games. And I'm just going to read out the things. Hey, I went against the instructions for this game and actually played this game last October. My character died horribly. Oh, Chindividual, thank you for joining from Beyond the Pale. Fantastic. Oh, well, maybe you can give some tips then to maybe survive longer. Maybe we could pretend you have sent me the game as part of the legacy thing, because this is a legacy solo RPG, which I'm quite keen about, because there's not many of those solo games that are you able to pass on to other people. The only one I know of is one called The Machine, where it's almost like a diary that you get obsessed with creating a machine, and then you pass that diary on to somebody else after whatever happens to your character, and the machine means different things to different people, which I think is really cool. But yeah, So yeah, like I said, we're going to go through the actual mechanics of the sort of demo, which is about 20 pages long, and then we're going to try and play a little bit of the game and see how far we've got. And whilst it might not be the perfect entertainment stream, and maybe I was thinking maybe I could use it as content on Where, but we'll see. Because again, it might not be great. But I'll voice through what I think I would do if I was going to try and create it for a podcast episode. Hello, Valor Mistress. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Nice to have you here. Sorry, my voice is going already. It's because I got too excited about Daggerheart yesterday, that's for sure. Nice to see you all here, though. So, don't play this game. Let's see. So, a one-shot demo. A solo RPG of handmade analog horror, which is so good. I mean, in case you didn't know, I do love horror in all of its forms. I think everyone should play a role-playing game. And then from that, everyone should run a role-playing game. And then from that, everyone should run a horror role-playing game. Which is kind of a funnel effect, but I feel like, I know that horror isn't for everyone, but I think you could put the veil of horror over any story and really push against the boundaries and make something really unique and interesting. And I think you can do that for any kinds of genres as well, like romance as well, sci-fi, all that sort of thing. But I think sometimes horror gets a little bit of a, not a bad shout, but I think sometimes people go, oh, it's a slasher, it's this. And, you know, I prefer some different types of horror stories to others. You know, I'm not necessarily a fan of Saw. I like the concept of Saw. I think sometimes it's like, I don't need to see the grimness of it all. So, just to say it as well. Ooh, I know of a legacy game. You play a werewolf hunter that's been bitten until you eventually succumb to the curse. And the next person plays the hunter that slayed you but was bitten by you. That's awesome. Do you remember what the name of that is at all, the Lore Mistress? Because that sounds excellent and I would love to check that out. That sounds really cool. Again, I think with solo role-playing games, a lot of the times they are going to be horror related because obviously it sort of is the theme of isolation. When you think of stuff like The Wretched, The Beast is the one I always think of as well. What was the other one? I've done a couple of them all where, you know, when they're almost like diary entries, so very reflective. Like Long Haul 1983, I can't remember. That was a very solo isolationist kind of game as well, which had a veil of horror over it. But they don't all have to be. Most of them are reflective and can be a positive outcome as well. It just so happens that they have to. You know, sometimes they are often horror because that's what we kind of lean into. But legacy ones are very. I think they are rare, and I think they're also quite vulnerable making as well. Like, I can't imagine like in my sort of friendship group right now, unless I sort of prepped people to begin with, ever going, hey, you fancy just carry on a story for me and going around that. Like, I think people have to be into board games or into legacy style content. Actually, I tell a lie, the only other sort of legacy game I can think of just now, which isn't a solo role-playing game, is Usaber's Bed and Breakfast, because that uses elements of like stickers and stuff to unlock future chapters. So there's lots of replayability with those stories, and it doesn't have to be the same people. So similar like to those legacy board games when you think of like Pandemic, the Betrayal of the House on the Hill, all that sort of thing. Those legacy content where sometimes you have to have the same people come back and come back and come back. The Weir Curse by Orpheus Press. Oh, thank you, the Lord Mistress. I will add that to my list. Very, very much appreciate it. Yes, Usaber's also a great shout. Yes, I do quite like Usaber's. I feel we could run a full series of Usaber's and try for sure. Oh, I didn't mean to. Well, there's an image of the book. It's already there. It's already spooky. Let's zoom in and do a bit of a read, shall we? So, inspired by found footage stories and cursed messages. If you're reading this, it's too late. You're cursed. Congratulations. Anyone who knows about this game must play or bad things happen. Don't panic. I'm working on a guide to help you survive the game. Try this one-shot demo. It will show you what you've let yourself in for. You're cursed, and I am sorry about that. Good luck. You're going to need it. Very cool. What I'd like, and again, appreciate if you've listened to the interview I did with Charlie, then it's probably obvious, but he said, like, I think a lot of the book is written from this sort of point of view, this sort of like voice, except for the safety stuff. that's written as clear and as neutral as possible so that people are prepared and are safe when they're playing this game. And I just thought that was a really good design shout for that. And I already like in the sort of copy, even on the itch page and in the Kickstarter, which we can actually have a quick look at as well. It is in this voice, so instantly you're drawn in, you're engaged as a reader. Yuzeva's Bed and Breakfast, a lovely, weird little piece of art. 100% Testy Trekkie. One of the most fun games I've had, and so loose with the rules as well. So, what is this game? A legacy solo tabletop role-playing game about someone, in brackets, you, who has been cursed to play a game by a mysterious entity. Journal, document, create, explore, and scare the, presumably shit, or fuck, out of yourself in a unique experience that takes horror beyond the tabletop. So how do we play? So we're going to create a character and then events will start happening. The game is simple. An event happens, you add an entry to your record about it. Sometimes words, sometimes photos, sometimes something else. Whatever the entity asks. Oh, you guys can't even see the text. I'm so sorry. There we go. It's a little bit easier for you guys to read now. Finish an event, and the entity will give you another. Over and over until you complete the game and are free. Or you lose, and, well, then really bad things happen. It reminds me of films like Unfriended, if anyone's seen that, which is all done over, back in the day, Skype and Zoom. Unfriended and Unfriended 2, I think, are some of the best found footage, fixed point of view films. The characters are horrible in it, and some of the writing isn't great, but the story behind both of them, and they're both very different, I'd say. Don't go into the second one thinking it's going to be like the first one, because it 100% is not. But I quite like that. And I think there's the other one, which was Host on Shudder, and that was a really interesting one, because that was all done on the same evening, all filmed in the pandemic. And they were given like very fancy like iPhone cameras to put on their computers to record stuff, and one of the actors hadn't set it up properly, so it kept cutting off her head, so it actually looked even more real during the Zoom calls and stuff. It wasn't perfect, so I quite like that as a choice. We're like, oh, we could redo the whole thing, but actually it looks really good. So creating a record. So the entity wants to document your experience whilst you play with it. Why? Perhaps it proves it. Perhaps to prove it exists, or perhaps as a means to spread its game further. Who knows? You'll create a record as you take part in events. Sometimes the entity will instruct you to create artifacts. These are manifestations of the horror you're experiencing. Artifacts could be photos of abandoned buildings, scrawled messages from a stranger, or recordings of strange noises. Whatever they are, they should be collected and stored in your record, because if you die, the game isn't over. Stories of this game never truly end. Something is always left behind, even when you've finished playing. Eventually, someone else will find it and start a new game. In the full version of Don't Play This Game, rules and events will be available to curse your friends to carry on your story, whatever the ending may have been. So again, I'm thinking, because again, I just played it recently, the Dark Pictures anthology video games, where you can have couch play as well. So your choices that you make in maybe one section will affect another, which I really like the rules of. So that's why I'm actually quite excited to play this game, because I can imagine playing it over and over again. Also, artifact RPGs, so solo artifact RPGs is a thing as well. So just in case you're not aware of that, it's when you create something that you can keep after. Sometimes they're called keepsake RPGs. And we played a couple of them on where we played a field guide to memory, which was like we got a prompt every day via email and we had to create like a journal, like almost like a field journal. And it was so sad in the end, really sad. There was another one, actually I want to call it Spiral, I don't think that's what it was called. It was like an Advent one that we did on Where, and it was like every day of Advent, keeping a diary about, again, some poor orphan child in the Victorian era haunted by an entity and having branching scenarios coming off it. So yeah, really cool, really enjoy that sort of stuff. Here's some images, This game will be challenging. I've included tools in my survival guide to keep you safe. Full guide will be released on Kickstarter later this year, and it was made by the designers of Shiver, so the Mendes brothers. And I will say, with the Kickstarter, I zoom over to it. Funded in 3 hours. People love to be scared. That's what we... oh, no, zoom out. What else we've got? The stuff you would get if you did back it. There's obviously late pledges as well if you wish to do that. But also, what I would like to say is thank you for having readable text at the beginning, because compared to the Coriolis one on Monday where we did the Great Dark, we had a look at the Kickstarter page, all the top bits were images without alt text. It drives me nuts so much that people don't think about it. You can get all sorts. So if you back the full version of it, it is quite a lot of stuff. Quite a lot of, and some scary dice as well. All good stuff. And what I would say is, if you're not so sure if you want to play a game like this, because again, I appreciate, whilst I'm like, ooh, everyone should play a horror game or run a horror game, people will be like, not for me, Fiona. You can look down, and on their Kickstarter page, she says, pass the stretch goals, pass the touchstones, which again, if you want to have an idea of what they're like, I will say Incantation is so scary. Oh, I couldn't watch it. It was so scary. There are a whole bunch of people who've done, in the lead up to the Kickstarter, things to listen to and their own version of this, which I really love. This idea that, again, like the sort of creepypasta, like that's being passed along in this community. So, and they're all not connected per se, but I loved that people did some review stuff. I think, look, there's our interview, hooray! But I wonder, and we've got Darker Days Radio. There was, I wonder where Ty's one is. Ty from Side Character Quest. Also, maybe that's it? No, I can't remember. But yeah, some ones to definitely check out and listen to if you're interested in hearing how other people play it, so to speak. Oh my goodness, those things used to really frighten me as a kid. A game of don't play this game is one of those old school chain letter emails, and whoever forwards it has to continue the game. Yes, absolutely, individual. The ones that told me evil Mickey Mouse would come and kill me in 3 days if I didn't forward certain contacts. Yeah, I used to get rubbish ones. I think they were just like, someone will be in your room tonight, standing in the corner. And I was like, no, I don't think they will. Because I used to sleep really deeply, and so I never was worried by that sort of stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm rushing back, but I wanted to see all the stuff you can get, some uniquely cursed items. Let's have a zoom in. Maybe we can have a quick look, see what we've got. If you go, it's quite expensive for all this stuff, not only getting physical copies of stuff, but physical notebooks, images and stuff like that. So I think it's always interesting to see what you can get in a game which you might not ever play again. I think that's sometimes the downfall of solo RPG games. Like, if they have an end to them, as this one clearly does, for you at least, what do you get else? What else can you get out of it? So, you got pictures, unique inherited cursed box, your images incorporated into the game some way, etc. But I know some people are always like, I like getting a t-shirt, I like getting this. I feel like RPGs, I think it's quite difficult to think about, why would people want to buy a higher level what else can you offer them? And I think for me, for something as solo RPGs, I don't know if I want stuff, right? Because let's face it, I've already got dice. I've already got enough dice to save me. Do I need a physical record? Probably not. A lot of stuff I do is online. Do I need the physical artifacts that come in the game? Do I need them to play the game? Stuff like that. So that's what I always think of when I'm looking at stretch goals. Something like that. That's not to do any disrespect to anyone that does that sort of thing. I always just think it's really interesting when the people provide that. I always wonder, higher levels when it's like we include, running the game, for example. I always think that's more valuable, perhaps. Like, I'd love to have a game with the game designer, or an ask me anything type thing. That's the sort of thing I would think would be more interesting, but maybe because I'm not the audience for that, right? Yeah, I'm a game designer. Not game designer, I'm a game... podcast person. I don't know why I said game designer. I'm not a game designer. I'm interested in game design. That's what I was meaning. And running games. So that I find more interesting than maybe getting a t-shirt or something. But that's just me on that. Nice specs. Hello, Dead Toothbrush. How you doing, my friend? Agreed. I often turn down the big packs because I already have too much stuff. Yes, absolutely. I think it's just interesting. But add-ons as well. Cursed dice set. so much dice, notebook, etc. You can get the Shiver core book. Nice. And some other places to find stuff. Let's get out of the way then. All this out of the way. Let's go and actually read the actual RPG, shall we? The actual demo. She's one thing I will show you before I hop over. Ooh, will it load? So I have got as a record. I appreciate it's not very pretty. But again, if we're going to play this later, I thought we'd do it here so everyone could see it and everyone can look at it, because that's the only other thing as well. The record that comes with it, so the player sheet that comes with the demo, isn't form fillable, which is totally understandable, but quite a shame. Already I'm like, give me a form fillable sheet or a digital version of the sheet that I can use to play along if I was going to do it as an overlay or as a stream. So we've got it here on my Notion, so I hope that's it. Reading? Yuck! That toothbrush, you've come to the wrong stream, my friend. Alright, so we'll move that over now. We'll use it later at some point. Where is my... Get rid of Chrome. Alright, let's go into... Oh, play this game instantly. I love this cover. Again, you think back to that whole sort of like hostage type, you know, like you have 7 days to pay the ransom, that sort of thing. But instantly that's what I get from that. But also I'm thinking of like, you know, childlike drawings, you know, children that put stuff together, like colleges and stuff like that, and that's always creepy. So instantly I'm like, and it's like the childlike colours as well, the different typefaces and fonts. Yeah, really like that. So that's what, again, instantly I'm like, I know what this game is about. Even the title, don't play this game, is great. Even if it's almost like negative marketing, don't play this game. And then we've got, obviously, the two Mendez brothers. So we've got Charlie, who did the writing, game design, artwork, layout, the whole thing. And then Barney as well, also helped with the editing and the actual game design. Work of fiction, just so we all know that. Work of fiction. All the characters. Ooh. All the characters and events are portrayed in this book are fictional. Although my computer just proper freaked out then, so it's a cursed stream already. I'm here for the hot takes. Alright, I will give you my hot takes, Step 2, I promise. Everything's fictional, and any resemblance to real people or incidents is purely coincidental. All very good stuff. Alright. So, as I said, it's roughly about 28 pages, so I said it was 20 pages before, but I think that's because we normally start playing, on page 14. So we've got safety tools stuff, don't play this game, what it is, the game itself, what the necessary supplies are, the anchor, staying alive, events, appendices, and the anchor sheet. I would say, straight off the bat, like, it doesn't tell me like how to, I presume the anchor, I think that is the record you're talking about there. I think maybe, because this is obviously trying to keep in character, that POV that we talked about before, we don't necessarily have like, how do I create a character? What is the game? You know, it's not asking questions, it's just putting it there, simple facts, which is the tone of it. But again, if you were just quickly looking through, if you needed to find the character, maybe you couldn't find it. But again, it's such a short demo, doesn't really matter too much. I also really love the what's it called? The interior art. So this sort of the texture of the page is really nice, and the same on this one as well. Actually, the background of it is really nice. Love it. All right. Double columns. I hate double columns so much. All right, we're going to read through everything because it is much shorter than the other go. So, safety tools. Horror stories, at the best of times, are purposely distressing. Designed to shock and run shivers up your spine. But in reading a novel or watching a film, there is always a boundary, a line where you are experiencing these terrors through the lens of another. Their trials and tribulations against whatever haunts them are their own, and when you put the book down or watch the credits roll, the experience stays there. In fiction. With role-playing horror, especially in a solo capacity, the lines are not as clearly drawn. A little bit more, shall we? You're creating a character, one who may be close to yourself. The connection between you and them is much stronger than another fictional figure. It is here we have to be careful. Playing games should always be fun and enjoyable, and much like other forms of fiction and entertainment, should stay that way. Horror is fantastic for a fright and a thrill, but shouldn't linger with us in a negative way. If it begins to get under our skin, we need to recognise it and redraw our lines to make sure things remain fun. There are two stages of safety tools we recommend playing There are two stages of safety tools we recommend when playing If You're Reading This, I'm Dead. One at the start of setting your game up, and the other to use regularly throughout playing. Oh, I see. Okay, fine. The first safety tool for a solo horror experience we recommend is using a set of key questions when creating your character and getting ready to play. So your character. So who is my character, and how are they different from me? Drawing a distinct line between the fictional character and you are creating and yourself is a healthy way to keep separation. Comfort. The experience of playing the game is a personal one, especially when played truly solo. It is up to you to draw the line of what horror your character may face. If an event is too intense or draws you towards a subject matter if you are not comfortable with, skip it and roll again. Are you comfortable with... Hang on. Am I missing... I must be missing something. That seems to be missing something. Are you comfortable with the... And then this must be... Give me 1 second. I'm going to see... Did your computer freak out, or is the entity already here? Well, I mean, the changing... Seems to have changed something there, right? Let me see if I can get the actual... I'm going to re-download a version of it, so don't panic. Nobody panic that my computer is freaking out, because that's actually really funny if that is the case. Alright, I'm going to go for, because I don't have the itch version. I had this from a different thing, so I'm going to download that and see if we get that. Launch event. I just want to make sure I've got the right version. Alright, let's try that. Yes, go away, AI. Slowly loading up. I think my computer's panicking slightly. Typical, huh? See, it looks a lot different, doesn't it? I should have gone with this, shouldn't I? Let's try this version. Probably a more cursed version. Right, still got the same things. Back now on Kickstarter. Great. Reading out the start of the character. Alright, so we were up to here, weren't we? Are you comfortable with the... Oh, it's changed again. Interesting. Maybe I'm missing something. I can see that the page number has gone up slightly, so maybe it's just the way it is. Are you comfortable with the... And then it disappears. Safety. The game sometimes asks you to go out and gather artifacts to add to your story. These are designed to generate creepy keepsakes to remember your character's journey. When collecting these, always ask yourself, am I safe doing this? Is this location I'm going to safe? Is the item I'm creating/collecting safe? For example, going to the park during the day to take some photographs could be deemed safe, but going at night to an abandoned and unstable building to collect rusty shards of metal, arguably not safe. Gathering these artifacts should be fun and relatively spooky, but always make sure you're not endangering yourself doing so. If you're going further afield or going somewhere more isolated, tell someone where you are going and take a friend and any other necessary precautions to look after yourself. Personal check-in. My computer is freaking out. The personal check-in. The second safety tool we recommend using is the personal check-in. After completing a few events, set the book aside and see how you are feeling. If the game is becoming too overwhelming or eventing too many negative feelings, venting? I don't know. Take a break. The games are meant to be cathartic experiences, but there can be too much of a good thing. The solo and focused nature of the game has a chance to get lost in. So just take breaks and remind yourself it's just a game, and you're telling yourself a story. And you were telling a story, a creepy one, but not a real one. Okay, so we've got. So what are the two things we've got? We've got that first safety tool is asking who the character is and actually defining the difference of it. So acknowledging the differences between our characters. It doesn't really necessarily say a name for that. It just is a set of key questions, and then I guess this is the correct questions for it. And then physical safety, about like making sure wherever you go, make sure you let someone know, etc. And then the personal check-in. So it feels like there's actually quite a number of safety tools, and it says 2 stages of the tools. I guess this is a setup. I see. I think it would be nice if it were actually made it so, okay, now we're going to talk about the ones that you use during the game. So that would be the in-person safety and the personal check-in. And then, excuse me, and then this one at the beginning. Good to know that. Say, don't play this game. Oh, come on. Please stop reading. Otherwise it will happen to you too. It says it on the cover, for Christ's sake. Well, if you're reading this, it's already too late. You're cursed now. Anyone who reads this must play this game, or bad things will happen. Trust me, because, well, I didn't play, and if you're reading this, I'm dead. You might be familiar with how legacy games work. As a game gets played over, it changes, transforming it from what it was into something completely new. Well, this, I guess, is kind of like a legacy game. You play it, it changes, you pass it on. If you don't play it and you don't pass it on, then you will be cursed. That's kind of how this all started. One day, I received a book in the post. Unlike this book, it had no warnings on the front. Nothing to foretell the horror that it would bring into my life. The first page of the book came scrawled with a clear warning. You must play this game, or in 7 days, something bad. Oh, you must play this game, or in 7 days, or something bad will happen. Okay. I ignored it. Some stupid chain letter prank, I was sure. But then, okay, first of all, let's do some content warnings. There's probably going to be some bad things happening in this RPG that I won't know about until we've read it. I could just see one there coming up. If at any point, if you need to take a step away from the stream, please do so on that front. Content warnings for general horror stuff, found footage stuff. I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum as possible. I won't go into great details when I run the game myself. I just thought I'd head up just now as I realised I did not do that at the beginning. Hope that's okay. But then 7 days later, my dog got hit by a car. I read the book again, and to my horror, the pages had changed. You must play this game, or in 7 days, something bad will happen. Told you so. I tore the above segment out of the book in a rage, but when I came back to the book the next day, like, why would you come back to the book the next day? Why would you not throw it away? The page was undamaged. This couldn't be real. A dream, a sick hoax. So I waited. Like an idiot. I waited. Another 7 days passed. I went out to pick something up from the shops, and when I came home, my house was in ashes, burnt to the ground. Then I saw it, poking out of the rubble and ash. The book, still there, completely unscathed. I trembled, turning to the page, and under its previous warning, it read, "You should really play with me. You must play this game, or in 7 days, something bad will happen." Whatever it was, whatever it is that wants to play, it's powerful, and it will not rest until you play with it. God, that is terrifying, that image. So why do you have this book now? Well, unfortunately, passing the book on was part of the game. This thing isn't content to just play with this thing isn't content to play with just one person. It wants to play with everyone, forever. I thought by passing on the book, I'd perhaps escape, receive some peace for me and everyone I know. But I was wrong. I should have let it kill me. But now you're cursed too, and I'm sorry about that. Good luck. You're going to need it. I've got an image over here. No alt text, by the way, on the image. In the dark, it waits for me. You can just see little pinpricks of Something looking out. Terrifying. I love it though. Alright, the game. You're still reading? Really? Well, it's not like you have much of a choice in the matter now you've begun. But hey, I get it. If you wanted to throw this book in the river and forget all about this. Sadly, it's not that simple. Miss you, Auntie Kathy. The entity that started it all, the entity that started all of this wants you to play now. It needs you to. You try and get rid of it, and it just come crawling back. It'll just come crawling back, dragging something worse along with it. So what does it want? It wants you, the cursed, to create a record of your experiences as it torments you. This is what I found in the book when it came to me. A message about the game it wants you to play with it, along with a warning. Oh god. It all comes back to the center. That's what the image says. It all comes back to the center. Oh, and then the typeface has completely changed. Hello. You found me. And I found you. Let's play a game. Bad things are going to happen to you. Events in your life which you will not be able to stop. When these events happen, the book will ask you questions. I want you to answer them. Write, draw, take photos, or even paint. Anything that allows you to create a record of your experiences. If you ignore me, things will get worse. If you don't answer truthfully, things will get worse. The only way to win is to play. Finish the game, and I'll leave you be. If you get to the end, the record will pass to another, so the game can continue forever and ever. Doesn't that sound fun? I love that. That's quite a good monologue. I didn't believe it at first. I mean, who would, right? But then, the day after this cursed thing landed on my doorstep, my Aunt Kathy died. I remembered what the book said, and my curiosity got the better of me. And there it was. The event, scrawled by an unseen hand asking me questions, pushing me to answer. At first, I didn't. That was a mistake. So, this is what's going to happen. You're going to play the game, and I'm going to help you through where I can. You are now cursed, and this entity is going to cause events in your life to happen that you must record. If you don't play, it will make your life a misery. So, for the sake of everyone you love, just keep playing. Get to the end, pass it on, and live your life. I've had time to think this all over, and the entity seems to feed in a very particular way. Why do we record everything around us? Some feel more compelled to than others, but we all do it just the same. I have a theory. It is proof that we existed, a physical mark on our world's history that we were there. It acts as a moment carved into stone, one where we can look back and remember that was who we were. Remember that was who we were. And remember that was who we were. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a text for some reason. No matter how lost we've become, we are all still here, and others will know it too. They will see us, our presence more clearly. No one wants to fade away into obscurity, or worse, nothing. There is another edge to this blade, however, one with a more sinister purpose. We document and archive experiences to see if there is something we are missing, hidden in the background of our lives, gnawing at its edges until it comes undone. It's a game we all play, whether we know it or not. And I think that is what keeps this thing alive. A twisted cycle that it won't allow us to break. There is a chance you may free yourself from this curse, but also a possibility you may be consumed by it. I encountered someone who had been, and it wasn't pretty. It seems the entity needs its playing pieces on the game board and likes to use those who lose as its pawns. Ooh. Maybe you can find a way to finish this story for good, perhaps defeat this thing once and for all. But if you can't, just get to the end and pass it on to someone who might. It's the only hope we have. I do quite like this. It's almost like a lore going in, making this game lore, and obviously this now person who's presumably deceased passing it on and trying to give as much information as possible. I do like it. Alright. Necessary supplies. Okay, so to play this game, you'll need a full set of polyhedral dice. So a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, a D12, a D20, and a D100. These are used to find the next event. I think the entity's sick idea of putting fate in your hands. Ooh, I like that. When it asks you to roll, just do it. Occasionally, if you have to choose between two things, it will get you to flip a coin. I always choose heads. You will need something to record your journey into the unknown, either a journal with a pen or paper, or a word processing document, the digital version. If you prefer to archive your story verbally, a memo app on your phone or a dedicated voice recorder is a good option now. Or say it aloud on stream. The only thing is that it needs to be stored in one place to create the record. You can't spread it out or hide entries away from others, otherwise it'll get mad. I keep everything in my office computer, corkboard, and this damn book, obviously. Sometimes it's going to ask you to capture an image for it. A camera of some kind. Anything from a Polaroid camera to a phone will do. Well, got that's fine. If you can't get one of these, grab a sketchbook, paper and drawing tools as a replacement. Again, we'll see how we go on this stream. I might just do a quick description of what I capture, just for ease. Again, because we're not doing this necessarily for content, it's more for reading it through. Also, just a recommendation from me. Keep track of how you're doing. You're going to need to keep track of your health to make sure you can face this thing, as well as some quick reference to what you have at your disposal to use, or stuff to watch out for. It's very easy to forget things, especially when they get intense or scary. In brackets, which, unfortunately for you, is going to be frequent. I've included a way to do this for you at the back of the book on page 28. I call it my anchor. Somewhere that, no matter how bad it gets, I remember what I have and, more importantly, who I am. So again, this sort of reminds me of this idea of anchor, of documenting stuff. Reminds me of like the advice it gives you in that 1,000-Year-Old Vampire by Tim Hutchings. What's great about that game is that, again, it encourages you to write as on a word processing document and stuff like that, because you would be deleting entries as you would lose your diary, you would lose your memory, etc. And that was a really good sort of a keepsake game, but also being loads of replayability on that. So I would recommend that. So in summary, these are the things you need to get started. Something to write with and on, like a notepad or word processor. So we've got the Notion page, so that's all right. A full set of polyhedral role-playing dice or a dice rolling application. We've got some dice here. A sketchbook or some spare paper. Try to avoid drawing on the walls. Don't worry, I will not be doing that. Camera of some kind. We've got this, but again, giving myself the option to, or the permission, sorry, to write it out. And an anchor. Just use my template. I can't really stop you, can I? Ooh. So many players. Delicious games. Oh, that's all their games. Oh, that's quite... I like that as a demonstration. So this is all their journals that have been tied up. You can see this whole... Again, this idea is giving it a legacy content. That's very good. Okay, as the unfortunate soul who's going to be facing this entity, you're going to be under a lot of pressure. Weird stuff is going to happen all the time, and at points your mind is going to fray. Trust me, I've been there. I mean, my brain's already on the fry as it is. On my go around facing off against this thing, I created this, the anchor, a way to keep track of what was going on, how I was doing, and most importantly, what I had to fight back against the evil haunting me. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah, that image is great, isn't it? I really like it. Alright, attributes. So for the sake of ease, I've split up elements of my life into 6 key areas and ended up calling them attributes. Oh, life is like a game, huh? I don't know if these represent everything, but believe me, these are the things that are going to count most. I can hear things going off my phone. Give me a second. Sorry. So we've got talent. So these are things that you are uniquely good at. This could be related to your career or passions. A photojournalist, for example, may have photography as a talent. You may surprise yourself and gain more talent as you fight back. And we've got resources, not just limited to useful items. A resource can be something that you can utilize to your benefit. This can be anything from a wind-up torch to having a car, or access to wealth to fund your endeavors. Trusted allies from your life friends. Trusted allies from your life who are there to help, accompany you in their investigation, and be a beacon of support. Be careful, however. The life of a cursed is dangerous, and there is always a chance that a dear friend could end up in the firing line. Only bring them in on this if necessary. Alright, so those are the first 3: talents, resources, and friends. And we've got secrets. Dark and terrible, secrets relate to the entity that has cursed you in its origin, intention, and past. These can be discovered as you forge down darker paths and even find you have new secrets of your own. Oh, like any good found footage horror film, you always find secrets. I love that. Everyone has fears, things that send a shiver up their spine. You'll begin with very few, but by the end of your journey, you will come away with many. I used to love the woods, but now I can't smell pine without getting panicked. And then finally, we have artifacts. These are things that may help or hinder you. Their connection to yourself and the entity intertwined in the dark dance that takes place as you're trying to survive. These are often things that the game requests you to go and find. A photo, a sketch, a sound, all these artifacts being objects representing your journey. Collect them, create them, and do what the game asks. Alright, so that might be the trickiest one to do for the stream, but we'll see what we can do. Staying alive. Ha 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 ha. This entity will eat away at you and cause you harm, physically and mentally. It's like a cat toying with its prey whilst it still lives. It enjoys the game, playing with you until it is ready to consume you and move on to its next victim. Everyone has their limit, and it is very easy to lose track of yourself as you play this game and not realize the toll it is taking. To help keep track of when you need to rest or help, I've added a way to track your life on the anchor. You can lose or gain points to their life depending on what happens. You start off with 10 points, so okay, 10 hit points, fine. These points represent your physical and mental state, as well as the stability of your life overall. Well, isn't that nice? Getting hurt or seeing unknowable horrors can decrease your life points, well, understandably so. But this isn't the only way. Losing friends, resources, and support until you are left isolated and alone can also take its toll. If you lose all of your life points, you die. Or you fall into something even worse. You become lost. Either losing your grip on reality or being consumed by the evil, potentially even possessed by it to do its bidding. I've met some of these people and it was not pretty. Death isn't always the logical end option. You may end up isolating yourself, living a hermit's lifestyle which avoids all interactions that could attract the entity's interest. If this happens, your game ends, but it will carry on with someone else eventually, when it is found by another. This may be someone related to you, possibly a friend. Or if your end was particularly grisly, an investigator for the police. Think about where you keep your record, where it is hidden in case you perish. You don't want it to fall into the wrong hands and have someone fall victim to what you experienced. That is why you have my record now. A random address, a couple of stamps, and I got it far away from me and what was left of my loved ones. Again, I'm sorry, but as you play, I'm sure you'll understand why I did what I did. Yeah. So yeah, like Fiona, what did you do to hide your record? Well, I put it on put it on my Notion. There we go. Oh, it's gonna load up. Ah, this is so fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying reading it through as well. Yeah. Everyone knows that the record's on my Notion. Oh good. My computer finished its scan. I definitely told it not to do that. I think my computer's already cursed. Okay, so before you start, for your following attributes, add the following. We've got to have 1 talent, 1 friend, and 1 fear. This is to keep a grounding of who you are, establish a baseline for your life before it starts to get pulled apart like a fraying jumper. Like a fraying jumper. Everyone at least has one of these, right? Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. Talents. Ooh, and now my computer's trying to turn itself off. Absolutely cursed. Okay, so talents. Something that you're uniquely good at. What can I tell you? What do you think I'm good at, guys? What do you think this character could be good at as a talent? We're thinking about putting it into the game. Someone that's very like me but not me. I don't want to put like creating content, reading aloud. That probably wouldn't be a good one, right? I'm trying to think. Did it say resource? So we had 1 talent, 1 resource. 1 talent, 1 friend, 1 fear. Friend, trusted ally. I guess, well, let's start with that. That one might be a little bit easier. So I'll put up, I think, oh, I forgot that thing was still up there. Never mind. So let's go for friends. We'll go for a sibling. Why not? That's always quite good. Let's go for thinking of names, looking around the room. Let's go for Nathan. Nathan, brother. How about younger brother? Done. Alright. Then talent. What do we think, talent-wise? Just trying to think, what am I bad at? And I can change it now. Hiking. Let's do hiking. Hiking is a talent that I'm good at. And then the other one was a fear. So what did it say for fear? Let's go back to it. Fear. So everyone has fears, things that send shiver up the spine. It'd be nice if there was an example of stuff, of what kind of fears we could put in. Let's go for... Let's go for... I fear... Let's go for... Oh, I know. Pigeons. I don't fear pigeons, but I do find... I understand why people don't like birds. And certainly pigeons that seem to be everywhere. So that's quite good. Alright, those are the 3 then. Let's go back. Alright. The game is fueled by events the entity puts upon you. A series of experiences that deepen the mystery around it and haunt you. Amidst the horror of what is to come, there will be opportunities to gather information and help define what evil plagues you and how to stop it. Take them, use them, and don't give up. There's a slim chance, but you can win. It is a game, after all. Note, this is a demo version. Rolling for new events is not required. A handful of events have been selected to be played through in order to give you a taste of the shorter but full experience of the game. Oh, I see. So I'm guessing I will not need this for this game. I'll have the dice here just in case. That's a shame, but at the same time I understand because I don't want to give out the full system. But that's okay. The entity likes the idea that you are a master of your own fate. It seems to be its twisted sense of fairness. Navigating between events is determined via the use of role-playing dice. There will be instructions at the end of each event telling you what to roll. The result determining how many events forward or backwards you will move. Oh, so yeah, very much like the Vampire, not Vampire the Masquerade, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. That's what they do, their mechanics. This is where the event will appear and the game will ask you to record what is happening, how you feel, and all manner of other questions. Answer them. Don't ignore them. Whatever you do, don't ignore them. Some events will have bad things happen to you, devastating changes that can take place in an instant. Stay the course and always follow what the event says. You can't escape the horror that it is to come. Yeah, you must play this game in 7 days, or something bad will happen. Yeah, so I think that's what I was meant to say before, but there's lots of typos. Hello again. It's time to begin. Turn to the next page so we can start playing together. This is going to be fun. Okay. Well, I wonder, maybe before I can see already, tragedy strikes, fantastic. But I wonder if we need to fill in any more details about us just now. So if I go back to let's just get a little bit, there we go. So, name, let's say our name is, just trying to think of other people I've spoken to recently. Mary, I've spoken to Mary recently, I'll be Mary. I'm going to put myself as, let's say, late 20s, early 30s. Profession. Why don't I make myself... What's an unusual profession that we have in horror films? Therapist is always one that goes quite quickly. I'm just thinking of Smile. I don't want to be like office work. I want it to be something that's interesting and different. Maybe not doctor. Maybe not customer service. Looking out. Why don't I know? Why don't we do TFL driver, a train driver, one of those people. Pronouns we'll do she, her. Oh, thank you. Description. Looks like Fiona, but tired. Tired and grayish hair. Maybe peppered hair? That might be better. Pepper. Salt, and pepper hair. Anchor, that's what this is. And then that's got my life points. And then we've got the hiking as a talent. I have a fear of pigeons, and I've got friends, which is a Nathan, who's a younger brother. That's all it's asked us to begin with, so let's have a look-see from there. So, what have we got? So, Event 1. Tragedy strikes. The world ticks along as normal. Your day trickling along like any other as you go about the usual business of existing. Then, your phone rings. There's been a tragedy, one that deeply affects you. What is it? Who is calling to tell you this? How do you feel? And what have you lost? Alright, well, let's write this into the entry then. Ooh. Hang on. Come on, work with me. Alright, so I'm going to grab this, going to put it in the... and what we'll do... It decides to work, so event 1. Tragedy strikes. So we've got... There's been a tragedy, one that deeply affects you. What is it? And then... Who is calling you to tell you this? How do you feel? And what have you lost? And we can use the bits at the back. So this is event 1. I'm just going to get that. expand that for a second. So we've got that. Okay. So, see page 27 for a list of potential tragedies. Well, no spoilers. Quickly, we'll look for. There we go. Okay, life is cruel and random. In the case of this game, you'll get to have terrible things happen to you. So, event 1, roll a d6. We have a car crash. We have an elderly relative passing away, seemingly of old age. A bizarre accident. A violent murder. A wild animal attack. Disappeared, presumed dead. Ooh, okay. Roll the dice. I got a 4. Ooh, a violent murder we've got. That is what's happened. Okay, let's write it down. So we have... Okay, so I go back to... See, there's more things coming up, but was it page 15? I think it was. Next one. That's potential tragedy. So, who is calling to tell you this? Well, I think, unfortunately, it probably has to be a police officer of some sort. So I will say, PC Julie Gardner has called me. How do I feel? Well, one that deeply affects this, I think, maybe, hang on, sorry, I realised you don't have my sheet. Maybe a violent murder that's happened in my block of flats. Okay. Don't know, I don't think that's how you spell Julie. There you go. PC Julie Gardner, local police force. How do I feel? I probably feel quite numb about it, as it's so close to where I live. Due to it was to where I lived. What have you lost? Well, a neighbour, but I think because we're in London, I don't know who the neighbour is. I think, yeah, block of flats, you don't know who the person is. But it's quite scary because that's such a loss, you know, like, maybe we hear of them, or maybe I know of them, but never met them in person, or maybe never, never really, spoke to them, and maybe at various, building meetings. So, yeah. Mood. Yeah, absolutely, right? The Law Mistress? Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, probably wouldn't be someone I know if it's in the building. This is a less nice version of Only Murders in the Building. Just got on a lift with a few of them a few times. Yes, exactly, yeah. It's sort of a gentle nod, but didn't know what floor they were on or anything like that. Nice. Alright. Let's get rid of Chrome, and let's read the next entry. You attend a memorial service, a way to mourn what has happened. Who attends with you? Do they comfort you well? What do you talk about? Alright, so that's the next prompt. Let's go for it. We write it in our little note. Who attends with you? Probably. Who attends with you? Do they comfort you? What do you talk about? And then it said, what did it say in the thing? It said, add them as a friend. So I can't just be like, nobody. oh, foolish person. Add them as a friend. Okay, let's see. Maybe, let's say another neighbour. Let's say someone who actually comes with me. Let's say neighbour. Let me think, I'm trying to think of any names. Let's say, from down the hall, neighbour Jessica. Did they comfort you well? I think she's probably in the same state as I am. Like, didn't know who it was, but it's like, oh, what a rubbish thing to have happened. So yeah, so does their best, but feeling the same shock. It has happened in our community. What do you talk about? What do we talk about? We probably talk about boring things, like how long have you lived here? How long have we lived here? Any building gossip? I wonder if there's any shared interests that we might have had. We might have, like... I picture Jessica as maybe a little bit older than me, but not like loads, not like loads and loads older. Maybe about 35, 40. I think we talk about when we might next see each other, you know, the usual sort of small talk, and maybe there is, what's it called? Like, not a PTA, an AMG, the next local building, AMG, an annual general meeting, and seeing each other there. Cool. All right, so let's add that in. So we have Jessica, who is down the hall neighbor. Right. All right. So I think that's all we need to do for that particular one. Oh, you guys cannot see my whole writing. Good job, Fiona. Stupid thing. There we go. Should be able to see that now. So yeah. So what we've got so far, we've got the neighbor had the local police force. Oh, I can't spell police. There we go. Good shout. Can't spell it again. I feel numb, but it's just more due to how close I lived. I didn't know the person. Don't know who they are. I bet we don't ever hear the name. Like almost as if it's been erased from collective memories, but it's maybe like one of that cinematic things where it's said, and I'm like, oh yes, I did know that person. But then when it comes to trying to remember that name and trying to say it, we never catch it. It's never present in any of the scenes that we do. All right, next up. A few days later, you receive something, a remnant, a part of what has been lost. What could this be? Oh, what have I lost? Oh, I didn't even think about that. What have I lost? I lost a name. Oh, wow, hang on. What has been lost? What could this be? An inherited item, a reminder of a time long gone, something you do not recognize. Identify it and add it as an artifact. You may also add a resource of inherited wealth. Once this resource has been marked 3 times, cross it out and it will no longer be used. Okay, I see. So let's copy this down. Because instantly I'm like, a part of the body? That probably wouldn't work. Oh, we're gonna, there we go, Chrome. Alright. A remnant of what has been lost. What could this be? What could this be? An inherited item? I remember something you do not recognize. Well, let's go to the appendix, shall we? And see what we could. Page 16, so page 27 for this. So what have we got in terms of artifacts? We've got photo albums filled with memories you had with the deceased, as well as some you don't. A diary that charts some of the deceased's final days. A cremation urn filled with ashes of the deceased. A music box that plays a haunting melody. Well, that will go really well with the music that's going on here. And an oil painting of a figure you do not recognise. Their eyes follow you around the rooms. Oh, I really want a 6. I think... Oh, that's a 5. Do we have... Oh, we've got one more. Sorry. The Holiday Cabin. A property once owned by the deceased. The keys were left for you in a brown envelope with a little explanation. Ooh, okay. I think either 4 or 5 would be quite fun. But we'll see. Gonna roll? Got a 5. Oh, we get the oil painting of a figure you don't recognise. Amazing. Let's write that. Put that into... Was that in our... was it 16? That was in Identify and add it as an artifact. You may add a resource of inherited wealth. Once it's been marked 3 times, it crosses out and can no longer be used. Great. So what does that mean for us then? Let me try and find my... Where's my thing? Scary pet pigeon. Don't say that. It's already a horror game. Okay, so what we get an oil painting. I think you do not recognise. What do we think? Its eyes follow us around a room for sure. We think it's an older person, a younger person, a Victorian type thing, or maybe like a Dorian Gray type picture. Eyes follow you around the room. I think gilded frame. Did we say oil painting? Yeah, so clearly well, no, I was gonna say well old. Clearly, what's the word I'm thinking of? Lovingly put together? Lovingly put together. But, bad vibes come off this painting. I think it's a portrait of somebody sitting down, like, you know, in this sort of old-fashioned sort of way of looking. Maybe there's a cane at the side, and behind them, there's no, like, lots of, like, decor or images or like a busy room or anything like that. It feels very maybe an older oil painting of some sort, but maybe it's, like, lots of, a curtain. In that curtain, we can see the actual, like, covers of the curtain. Like, the sort of ripples of the curtain, the texture of the fabric. Portrait of someone sitting down, and a backdrop of a, let's say, green velvet curtain. No signature. Ooh, what about a very distant shadow in the background with eyes that get closer and closer? Ooh, the law mistress. Yes, I like that. Maybe it's in the actual, like a shadow, one of the ripples of fabric. Eyes in the ripples of fabric. Which seem to get closer. There was a short film I watched ages ago where somebody was like on a slide deck, like an old-fashioned slide deck, was looking through these images and was like practicing their presentation, and they got to an image where they could see something like getting closer and closer and closer, and then it happened in this very dark space. It was really, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a fantastic, like, short 10-minute film about, it was like something, it was like the paintings of God or something like that. It was really good. Or something peering from behind the curtain. Yeah, alright, cool. But we've got an unwanted oil painting that definitely does not fit with what we've got here. Alright, nice work. So we need to put in, what was it, a resource? Was it? Oh, was it artifact? That's the oil painting of bad vibes. Inherited wealth was the resource, wasn't it? So maybe what happened, because we'll have to probably split the two of them a little bit, use it as a resource, because I can't be like, it's worth a lot of money. So maybe it was entrusted over to me, like, as a protection. Like, again, maybe this person, maybe their will indicated for their stuff to be shared out, but then I was named specifically about the oil painting, and as a, to keep it safe and anything, and then given some money to keep with its maintenance of it, because it sounds like something that, you know, has to be protected in some way. So I was giving a lot of money to look after it, but more so than I would think I would ever need to look after it. So it gives me the incentive to keep it rather than to donate it to, say, the portrait gallery. That works, doesn't it? Sounds like an oil painting straight for the bin. Oh, so true. All right, let's get rid of that. So that's event 1, I'm guessing. Oh, event 2, disturbing dream. Classic. So, head swimming in a feverish night of sleep, you find yourself dreaming. You are not alone in a location you recognize, but it feels wrong. Where is it? What about it isn't right? So instantly in my head I'm like, National Portrait Gallery in London, but we're gonna do the usual. Oh, let me, for goodness sake, you were find yourself dreaming. You alone. Let's write this out so we've got it. Never thought you'd have to see me write poorly in my records, huh? Right. So we've got event 2, dreaming. I'll go back to it in a second. So you're alone in a location you recognise, but it feels wrong. Where is it? What doesn't feel right about it? Okay. Yep. Tragedy strikes, and this is called. Oh, disturbing dream. It's called. Sorry. Disturbing dream. Yeah, my gut says portrait gallery of some sort, but maybe that's too on the nose. Let's go back to get rid of that. 27 for the art. I'm a big fan of using locations. Oh, we've got we've got abandoned locations. Okay, so we've got a D8. All right, I'll get the D8s out. We've got a factory. We've got a school. We've got a hospital. A railway yard. An underground station. Oh, I do want to use an underground station. A castle. A burnt-out council house, or a ghost town. I think in my head, what would fit well? I think an underground station would work out. A castle would also work out quite well, I think. Ghost town could be quite fun as well. Alright, but we're just going to keep to the dice rolls because I think it's always interesting to know. Howdy, howdy. Looks like I haven't missed too much. Nice. Hello, hello. How are you doing, Ty? Nice to see you here. Yeah, we just read through the rules and we're slowly going through it. Like I said, it's not going to be necessarily like dramatized, this thing, compared to your wonderful piece of work. But we're going to see how we go through here. So we're on event 2. We've got a 3. We've got a hospital. Ooh, scary. Hospitals are scary, aren't they? All right, let's put that in the. Let me put that in the crystal. So it's a hospital. I think what? Where is it? So we are in a location you recognise, but it feels wrong. Okay, so it's a hospital. So maybe I'm not too familiar with the hospital, but I know what one looks like. So we're on a ward. So we're on a hospital ward. Oh, let me move it a little bit so you guys can see. Hospital ward. I think all the curtains are drawn. All the curtains, privacy curtains, that is, are drawn. Around the beds. Maybe I'm standing in like between all the sort of drawn curtains for the bed. Like it sort of stretches. The light's quite bright. I think I can see like individuals, or I can make out individuals on the beds behind the curtain. But then maybe when I pass them and when I walk and there's a gap in the curtains, I look through and there's no one there. So not even that action of like pulling, like hearing anything. I can see there is like the outline of people on beds behind curtains. But no, maybe not the gap. Maybe the curtain doesn't necessarily go all the way to the ground, and I can see there is no feet. Gap shows no one there. Ah, creepy. Ah, welcome to my brain. Leave behind beds. Okay, I think that's enough for us now. But oh, there's definitely the sounds of. Let's do this. We've got light. There's the sound of like the ECG monitors, so that heart rate monitors beating. So sound of ECG monitors beeping like steadily. So clearly they're on and they're connected to something that has a heartbeat. And we've got the light being quite bright and clinical. So let's see, the light is quite bright and clinical. So we've done that. I think so we've got sound, the smell. There's definitely a smell of the curtain gap. Are the curtains velvet green? Do you think they're velvet green? I don't know. I wonder if that's too much. I wonder if that's too much. Maybe they're green. Maybe it's a similar colour green. I don't know if they're velvet per se, but yeah, I like that. Let's do that. The privacy curtains in brackets green. I do like that as a suggestion though. But I think there's a smell, like overpowering smell of maybe that sanitizer. I don't know if that really smells. I don't know if sanitizer actually smells or not, but maybe I don't want to be like smells of blood. That's probably not. Maybe smell of sanitizer. That's definitely not how you spell it. But you know what? It's my stream. I do whatever I want with spelling. Yeah. Why does it feel wrong? It definitely doesn't feel like any ward I've ever been on. Cool. All right. Let's move to what's the next part of this. So back to 17, I think it is. You hear a voice calling out to you in the darkness. It sounds like someone you know, calling for help. Who is it? Where in the location is it coming from? What are they saying? Okay. So maybe then, and we've got to add them as a friend. All right, let's move it back to. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that prompt because I'm an idiot. But I'll put it up here for us to see. All right, let's move down. You hear a voice in the darkness. It sounds like someone you know calling for help. Who is it? Who is it? Where in the location is it coming from? And what are they saying? Well, I don't think it's... And then we add them as a friend. So we've already got our younger brother Nathan. We've also got this neighbour just down the hall. Let's make it our... well, one of our things is hiking. Let's make it a hiking buddy, shall we? So, hiking buddy. That maybe runs the society, the hiking society, maybe the walking society. Let's call them... Just don't think of any good names now. Let's call them... there's a name that's on the tip of my tongue. I'm just trying to think. It begins with R. Rachel. That's the word I was thinking of. Like Rachel. Hiking buddy. So I think I hear Rachel. Where is it in location? She's coming. Of course, she's coming from the voice is coming from the end of the ward. It's coming from the end of the ward, behind some double doors, and above the double doors, is the neon sign. Surgery. In glowing red. Red sort of neon, yeah. Glowing, yeah, neon sign surgery. I'll spell surgery for the life of money, huh? Again, sugary. Surgery. Again, content warnings as always. If you're like, oh, no, step back, feel free to. So yeah, glowing like red to indicate that maybe the operating room, it wouldn't be surgery. Operating room is more the OR or something. I'm just trying to think what would be British rather than bloody notion. Operating room. Again, in the US version of this, it would probably say the OR, right? Surgery. Oh no. You know. Glowing, yeah, in glowing red to show that it's happening. That's what the location is. So, and it's dark, and it's a bit, and it's dark. It's dark. Like I feel like it's one of those doors where you can look into. Like there's like glass to look into it, but it's completely dark behind it. So dark, darkness behind the glass. Okay, and then what? What else? What are they saying? Calling for help. What are they saying? I think they're calling for help, but I think it's almost like a stage whisper. You know, like it's quite low, but obviously because it's, I think in the silence, a clinical thing where we've only got the beeping of heart monitors and stuff, I think it's almost crystal clear, even though they're all speaking at a whisper, like as if they're so close to the microphone, you know, that sort of thing. And I think she's saying, in this US version, the most scary part of the hospital would be the insurance office. It's true. That would change the whole thing, wouldn't it? So the stage whisper would say, it will. I think it's going to be broken. The words. I think it will say stuff like, "Please, no, maybe I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Please, I can't help me." And I think it's like that, and maybe there is some light, some light sobbing. Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's coming from the end of the hallway. And like a numpty, I'm going to totally walk towards it. All right, what does it say on the thing? Of course, because it's a dream-like story, so it doesn't all happen at the same time, sure. A figure stands at the end of a long hallway. You think it could be your friend, but as you edge closer, or as you get closer, sorry, it becomes clear it is someone else. Something else. You wake with a start, sweat on your brow. What do you remember about this figure? Try and draw them and add a sketch to an artifact. Okay, well, can't do that unfortunately, but... So maybe, let's change it slightly, shall we? Let's move this. Sorry, you guys can't see my Chrome. So, what do you remember about this figure? I think what happens is that I go towards them, hearing the noise of my friend Rachel, and I get towards the door with the glass of the darkness. And I realise that those double doors... Those double doors don't have glass in them. It is this sort of dark void that is sort of cut into the doors themselves. And I can see through it. And and as I sort of walk towards it, I'm realizing there's no glass to protect necessarily me from it, from whatever it is. I think I see Rachel, like in the dark, maybe like 3 or 4 feet away from the door. And the sounds don't get any louder and they don't get any quieter, but as I sort of get there... Oh, what do I remember? I think drawing of Rachel. You know what it is. Oh. I think the easiest thing, what's the thing I remember about this figure, is that they do not have... do I want to give them no eyes or no mouth? I don't know which is scarier. I don't want to get rid of both because that's too much, I think. I think it's scarier. I feel like no eyes is scarier because you can hear the stuff. But maybe no mouth is scarier because you can still hear the noises. And then maybe the eyes are something else. No mouth, but still pleading. No mouth. Oh, alright, chat. This is why I wanted to do it like this. Okay, so let's do that. So, figure looks like Rachel. And you can see panic in their eyes. Whoa. Oh, so scary. It looks like Rachel, but no mouth, but eyes wide and pleading. Tears staining their cheeks. Chins. Cheeks. No mouth because you're hearing her. Whoa, scary, scary stuff, you guys. Alright. So yeah, I think because I'm walking closer and then realise that there is no glass. And maybe you have that sort of side shot of me like looking at the glass and then having a hand come out to grab me through the door. And that's when I wake up. Lots of clapping in chat, great. We're doing a horror story together. And just to set expectations, so I do have to leave at 6. I do actually have something this evening, so what I might do, we'll do the next event. I think we might come back tomorrow, because I don't think I've got a stream prepped for tomorrow yet. And we'll do the same thing again, we'll start maybe about 3, and we'll do the same thing and see if we can continue it, just so you know. Horror. Exactly the Law Mistress. But I just want to set expectations, because I am really enjoying this. So maybe we'll go and we'll continue it like that, and maybe we'll do a 2-parter stream for it. And also it means we can get started straight away as well, because of the we don't need to go for the setup as well. All right, let's because I'm enjoying this. Right, let's go to event 3, Sleepwalker. All right, let's put that before I forget. Event 3, Sleepwalker. All right, we'll get that ready. Right, what does sleep? Oh no, I don't want to open Steam. Oh, my computer's going to go crazy now. Horror! So, it says, falling into a deep sleep, you find yourself in a familiar location. Its form and logic, however, warped by the nature of dreams. Where do you find yourself? What significance does it have for you? Ooh, okay, we're going to do some rolling. Okay, so we'll roll a d6. If you roll 4 or above, you lose 1 life point from the lack of sleep. Roll 3 or below, my Steam can go away, thank you. And you lose 3 life points. Oh, dear. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d6. Hopefully, we'll get that 6 now. Oh, that's a 5. We're going to lose 1 life point. Let's go do that now before I forget. Oh, one day. Alright, so we go down from 10 to 9, sorry. Alright, what does my dream look like? So let me get that thing again. You find yourself in a familiar location. Where do you find yourself? What significance does it have to you? I think maybe we do go to... Maybe now is the time to go to an art gallery. So let's say we go... Oh, I can't spell. We find ourselves at the National Portrait Gallery. How's that? Just all this business. National Portrait Gallery. What significance does it have to us? I think, I'm going to postulate it here, friends. I think there's been an exhibition in the past, and our hiking group has been featured, because I don't know if it's at the National Portrait Gallery. I'm going to say, for the sake of it, the one in London, it has a photography section, and maybe they do special exhibits. And maybe a little while ago we had our group like taking photos of us as we were going up doing sort of various hiking things and discussing like the benefits of hiking and like being able to hike in places that are maybe cut off from other people, seeing them in all weathers, and pictures of us going up and down these various like Munros. I can't remember what they're called, and like the peaks, obviously, that's that sort of thing. So yeah, special. I got engaged there. What, in the National Portrait Gallery, or Upper Munro? Special exhibit, photo exhibit featuring our hiking group. going up various hills and mountains. Yep, the National Portrait Gallery. Oh, fantastic! That's awesome. Great place for it. And mountains. What a significant story, because obviously it's our hiking group, but I think it's that idea of being with people who are all from different various stages of life, enjoy walking, and I think the thing with hiking is that, yeah, physical exertion, but also you get to talk to people and listen to them, and I think it's one of those few activities that you don't necessarily need to, I feel like it's because you're being active. I don't know, it's different to then sitting down and talking to them over a cup of tea, or different to doing any other sort of activity with them per se, because especially with the environment shifts around you as well, and appreciating the beauty of your location and getting there together. I think those are the elements I would think of as well. Oh, very sweet, Ty. Really appreciate it. Right. So next up we did that. Oh, that's terrifying. Sorry, I was like, what's that? Walking. Oh, you guys can't see it. I need to remember this. I need to figure out a better overlay for this. Wandering around something is calling. Wandering around something is calling to you. Oh no, that's terrifying. You find something, a strange relic that hums when you pick it up. The world of the dream begins to disintegrate around you. What does it look like? And how do you feel holding it? Excuse me. Also, I meant to take a picture, didn't I? Sketch of Rachel. I should write that on that thing. Alright, let's do that first, before I forget. Alright, so artifact, we have sketch. Oh, sketch of not Rachel with no mouth. Pleading eyes. And then dream artifact was the next thing. Dream relic, sorry. Something's calling to you. What does this look like? Okay. Let's see. We might have time for one more event. This is the end of this one. So. Okay, so wandering around something is calling to you, which I definitely interpret to be something evil and horrible. You find something, a strange relic that hums when you pick it up. The world of the dream begins to disintegrate around you. What does the relic look like and how do you feel holding it? Ah, a strange relic. Strange relic indicates something that is, and especially if it's a dream one as well, something that I can't really comprehend. And I can't comprehend much as me being me, so I'm thinking, why don't we go Inception with this? What if it's like a spinning like object, like spinning, like not like a spinning top or anything like that, but maybe like a slowly spinning like symbol. Maybe like a big square and a little square in the middle, like outlines of squares, and they turn slowly around, and that's what the noise is. Like it's almost like it would be 2D, but it is just constantly swirling around, and it's on a pedestal in the middle of a gallery that is got frames, different kinds of big frames, golden gilded frames, some simple frames, plasticky frames, all over the wall, right? Just covering every single wall. There's maybe hundreds of broken ones on the floor. It's almost as if something keeps putting up frames in every little small space, covering it. Like you see those wallpapers with different frames on. And there's nothing in them. There's no pictures or anything. It is just black canvas or maybe velvet green curtain or There's just no individuals, there's nothing painted in the frames at all. It is just the frames and the canvas. Unpainted, unfinished. And on this pedestal, which is maybe just a block, is this relic, this sort of thing that is turning on its point, on a point. Let's write that down before I forget. So 2 spinning square, like symbols intertwined with each other on a pedestal. Yes, pedestal. It'll tell me. Oh, all right. Well, that's gonna be spelt wrong forever. Maybe. On a pedestal in an empty gallery filled with empty frames. No pictures or paintings. Blank canvases. Broken frames littering the floor around the walls. How do I feel holding it? I mean, if I wasn't already, dread. Feelings of... Ooh. Feelings of dread. Feelings of dread. What else could there be? Feelings of dread. Almost like maybe inevitability. Knowing that, because I've picked it up, stupidly picked it up, it's happened. Like, it knows me. And I am now seen. How does that work? I think that works, right? Yeah, that works. Alright, let's do another one. Oh, it still goes on. Brilliant. Oh, I see. There must be 3 prompts for every event. Okay, that's quite cool. Wow. Okay. So you awaken covered in blood, holding the relic in your hand, standing outside a building you recognize that isn't your home. Okay. Where is this building? What is its significance to you? Whose or what blood is it? How do you get home if you can? Gain the secret of the violent sleepwalker. Go outside. Take a photo of a building that represents where you wake. Okay, won't do that per se, but oh dear, that's pretty bad. Alright, violent sleepwalker. We'll put that in our notes. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you guys the thing as we went back to it. That's my bad. Ooh, okay, so let's go back to the awaken. How on earth do we get back? Oh lord. Actually, I don't think that's the hardest problem. I don't think that's the hardest problem here. So we have, you stand outside a building you don't recognize as your home. Where is this building? What is the significance to you? Whose or what blood is it, and how do you get home? Alright. This wake up was an interesting scene to try and represent through sound design in my audio drama version. Yeah, I can imagine. Again, I think the photo stuff is a great idea. I just wish there was an easier way for doing it, or like, because obviously with audio drama, or creating it and stuff like that, obviously it's meant to be you making it. I don't know how you would do it with content per se, but still. So, you recognise that that isn't your home. Alright, so it's not the block of flats we're in. I think... So I'm just looking out the window to see if I can see. I think it's a pub. I think it's the local pub, which we'll call. So it's trying to see it from the window. called the George. A traditional locals bar. I recognise it. What's the significance to me? I don't like it. It's a place I dislike intently. Yeah, intently, because it's so noisy and loud, filled with people who have opinions I don't agree with. Oh. I don't agree with. I can imagine, again, sort of to take that sort of that vibe out for people who might not be aware of it, but like, you know, when you're in a place and there's always some obnoxious person who you can always overhear the conversations about your politics, about money, about controversial things. And I think for this particular, the atmosphere I'm sort of envisioning is that it's that times 10 with various individuals, unnamed individuals at this point. Because whose or what blood is it? I'm going to say I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think I can tell if it's blood that's come from a person, or if it's come from an animal, perhaps. Maybe some foxes is the ones I can think of just now. But again, well, that's going a little bit close to one of my lines, so I think we're just going to say we don't know. But what I would say is that the blood itself is dark, dried. It's all over. So not just my clothes. Would I be wearing my pajamas at this point? I bet not. I'm wearing the clothes I had on yesterday. Presumably the same ones for the memorial, and covered in there's a bit of a smell as well, that sort of rusty metallic metallic smell. Maybe I'll put my hand up to my face and I can feel it like splattered. How do I get home if I can? What does it say? You awaken covered in blood. I think I've awoken standing in front of the place, covered in blood. I can't tell if the blood if it's come from inside this building, perhaps. If I'm covered in it, I think in the moment I'm so shocked to be awake that this is definitely not a dream. How do I get home? I think I run home, right? I actually think maybe I'm near the Thames. Maybe I run to the river, and quickly wash my hands, my face, and then get the bus. People do not sit next to me. I just wash as quickly as I can. But I'm still holding it. I'm still holding this thing. So I put it in like a pocket, or maybe I've got my little bag with me. Oof. And get the bus home. And nobody questions it. No. Oh, sorry. Nobody. All right. Got 40 minutes left. Let's do one more, shall we? And then we can do the rest of it tomorrow. Yeah, unfortunately I do have something this evening that I have to go and be at for about 7:30. So the event is the library. Okay. Let's go write this down before I forget. So event 4 is the library. Alright. Sorry, I'm just writing that in my notes. So gathering your thoughts on the strange occurrences of the past couple of weeks. Oh, so we've jumped ahead in time. Okay. A single element jumps out to you. A common thread that has run through all the bizarre encounters you have had. So I'm guessing it's suggesting that all the stuff isn't like linear chronological order. It's not happened like this has happened and this has happened, this has happened. I guess not, because yeah, was it at the end of the memorial, I got the painting. Ooh, so that was a couple of days later. I like the fact that then maybe I wasn't dressed in the memorial outfits and stuff, but I was when I woke up, covered in blood. So it's been a couple of days or even a week since the memorial as a result. Okay. A common thread has run throughout all the bizarre encounters you have had. What is this piece of information? How are they linked together? Reminisce on your cursed character's journey so far and connect the dots. Okay. Alright, let me copy this and put it into our... It's a cool one. Oh, okay. We'll try and finish it then for this before we have to finish the stream. Just for you. Again, we'll see how far we can get with it. What is this piece of information and how are they linked? Well, I think... Let's see. I think the Occam's razor of this is obviously paintings of some sort, right? Where the gallery was, there was lots of picture frames of things with missing pictures in them. And I have now gained an oil painting of an individual that I don't know. I think, as well... Oh, I've just realised something. So that artifact I've picked up, it's like a frame within a frame. Okay. There was no glass in the hospital door. It was missing that. So the door itself became a frame. Almost like an opening or a portal. See? The things that are missing. Things that are missing. So time is missing as well. Memory is missing. Like, I don't remember how I got in front of the pub or how I'm covered in blood. So those are the two things, I think. Frames and missing people, missing time. The only thing that's standing out is like the pub itself, the George. Maybe the pub itself has a... You know how pubs and taverns and all that sort of thing, certainly in the UK, they'll have like a sign outside saying like public house, etc. Maybe there's a picture of a famous George. Can't think of any now. Maybe Wellington? George Wellington? No. George Washington is what I was thinking of. A famous George. Maybe his picture, or their picture, has been scratched out or taken off for renovation. So we've, again, that idea of a missing image. So everything is just the frame. Just having frames and portals and openings into stuff. It reminds me of something recently. I went on a tour and the actor did a really cool thing where it was very immersive, the tour. It was just him talking to us and describing the people that lived in a particular house. And he picked up a picture frame and a candle, so it was all candlelit, and he would put the candle through the picture frame saying, come join me through the pictures. And we will see like individual stories about what is here. And that was, so yeah, I think so. All right, yeah, let's do it for that. I think picture frames, missing paintings, individuals. I also think as well that idea of frames within frames, frames within frames, portals. Maybe the broken frames. I think that's quite an interesting one because the idea that they're no longer working, they've served their purpose. So maybe this idea of these frames and these portals, these openings, are different stories that could have been told, but are no longer being told for whatever reason, or have yet to. They have the potential to be told, right? They have potential to be filled. And it doesn't really matter about the frame. Because the frame just sort of outlines and finishes it, right? You could have a different frame to a different portrait, but it wouldn't work. It wouldn't feel right. So maybe we need to find like a frame or a portrait and what would go inside. So the scariest portrait frame or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Is like it can only work. Everything can only be right if it is framed beautifully. But now we have lots of frames which don't have portraits in. What does that mean? All right. Let's move on then, shall we? I think that's good. I think that works. Not content to let this slither of hope escape, you decide to conduct some research at your local library on the matter. Ooh. Go to your local library, find a book, newspaper article, or other piece of information that could help your investigation into the entity. Take a picture or copy an extract into your records and add to your research. That is very cool. I see what you mean, Ty, about this. Add research. Okay, we'll add research into our book. So how will we do this? Okay, can't do it on stream, unfortunately. Or at least what we could do is do a Google, right? I'm sure. Well, why don't we do that? We'll do a Google, shall we? So I'll put. Hang on. Was it into artifacts or resources? It was resources, wasn't it? Yeah, resources. Oh, and you can't see the thing. That's super helpful. So research. Okay. Let's try this then. All right. What I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do a quick Google. I'm gonna look for. You can see all my things. Don't play this game. Picture frames. Picture frames. Empty. Broken. Missing. Portraits. Oh, well, we've got lots of images. That's good. What happens if a picture frame breaks? Clean break, so we can prepare it. That's okay. These are all pictures. What are the secrets of an empty frame? Small the frame fix the eye. That's not kind of what we're looking for. Oh, there's a Danish artist submits empty frames. It's large sums of money for his artwork. Amazing. Let's try horror, perhaps. Mystery, maybe. Art portraits, missing. Horror frames. Oh man, that's cursed. Yeah, absolutely cursed. Yeah, cursed unalive portraits. Mystery of a missing frame. How do you make a creepy picture frame? Cut out small eye holes. Absolutely not. Alright. So yeah, so I can imagine this being a whole day's worth of looking for stuff, which is absolutely fine. Again, I like that as a cool idea. But yeah, unfortunately, would not work on stream. We need to have something particular. Maybe I'd need a whole afternoon to do it as well. But I will say, for the sake of it, that maybe I find an exhibition was hosted a couple of years ago, whereby, similar to that Danish artist, they had loads of pictures and frames around the room with no images in them. And it closed on opening night. And the next day, because people thought it was ridiculous, stupid. And then the next day, everything was crushed, broken on the floor. But there were more picture frames or something like that. Some sort of story on that front, I think. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Alright, let's go for... Ooh, I can see our final... Let's do this our final one. So we've got... Yeah, and then we can go into Event 5 tomorrow, perhaps. So whilst collecting this precious piece of information, you feel the hairs prickle on the back of your neck. It feels like someone is watching you work. Who or what is watching you? Do you see them? Do you confront them? Roll a d10. Okay. Bring the d10 out. If you roll lower than a 6, lose 1 life point as the paranoia begins to fray your nerves. Alright. Let's roll this first then. Oh, that's a 4. Okay. Alright. Let's do this first then, shall we? Let's lose 1 life point. So I'm on 8 currently. Alright. So the question is, what's it on the right? Whilst collecting, you confront them. Who or what is watching you work? I mean, we know the answer, don't we? It's gonna be a portrait. I think there is a portrait in the library. That's looking over the desks where we can get books out, or the computer banks, etc. And I don't know what it is. I look up to like the main bit of the hall, and it's like over like some sort of ornate fireplace that obviously is not used for at all. Obviously dangerous to have an open fireplace with surrounded by lots of books, which are quite good for kindling. I think it's a very similar portrait to the oil one I have, but this particular portrait, a different individual, maybe a different gender, perhaps. Maybe there's more individuals in the portrait. There you go. Maybe a family portrait. You have like wife, husband standing, older child, smaller baby, several dogs. And I think maybe the background of it is another sort of non-background. It's like a curtain of some sort, a bit more patterned, etc. I think just out of the corner, I would swear that I could see like a little pinprick of eyes in the ripple of the fabric, maybe just like over the shoulder of the woman sitting there. How does that sound? Sound alright? Portrait. What's spell portrait? Family hanging in the study area. Yeah, ooh, yeah, exactly. Study area. Husband, wife. Oh, let's see, scroll down. Wife, older kid, baby, dogs, plural, eyes in the dark fabric of the backing curtain. You know what? I think even then, so do I see them? Not really. I think I see it, but maybe I get, as I'm looking up a librarian comes over to tell me that the place is shut for the evening for a private event. But I think to make it even a little bit more spicy, a little bit more like, oof, no, I think I recognize the eyes, and they look a lot like the eyes I saw on the not Rachel character. Maybe. I don't know if that's too much, but I think that could work. But then when I look back, I can't necessarily see the like the lights are changed or something in the room, so I can't quite see those sort of pinpricks, those sort of the outline of anything in the darkness of the fabric. Alright, that sounds good. I think we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately, because I didn't realise this would take as much time as it did, but this has been good. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I can hear my phone keeps going off for some reason, so clearly I'm very important. Or I shouldn't be playing this game. So, if you are interested, we'll come back tomorrow to play it. We'll probably be the same time. I'll just need to double check. Oh, some eye emojis there in the chat. No, thank you. If you want to check out your own demo of the game, obviously I'm doing lots of spoilers perhaps for this one, but go check it out. You can get a copy of it. Been a blast. Thank you, Ty. Very much appreciated. You can get it on Don't Play This Gay. .me. The Kickstarter, you can get a late pledge for it, so you can get a physical copy of it. You can also go onto the itch.io and get a free copy of this particular rule set that we are using it from. I think, let me just double check, I can probably do it. Loved this. Oh, that's very kind of you, little Law Mistress. I very much appreciate it. I was going to try and do this without showing all of my screen. Let me see, am I doing anything I don't think I am doing anything tomorrow, because I think we've got... It won't show me any of my other events. How could you? Tomorrow? No, so we don't have one tomorrow. So yeah, I'll put up another thing for tomorrow so we can finish it off, because I think we should finish it off now, as we've got so far into it. So yeah, we'll do roughly about probably 3 PM tomorrow, and we'll go for another 3 hours or so. So that will be good. So yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed this, thank you so much. Check it out on the ye old interwebs if you'd like to, or not. If what else was I going to say? So this has been Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG. So we've done a little bit of discussion about what works, what doesn't. We're going to continue playing and the rest of it tomorrow, and then sort of maybe come up with our final thoughts of stuff. If you are like, where else are you? Well, I also do What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast. We do a whole bunch of different RPG games. Maybe I'll cut this one into like an episode coming up, but I don't know. I think we'll see. We'll see. I like talking these through and I'm playing them, and I do like solo RPGs as well. So maybe we'll do some more talking through of solo RPGs instead. So that's What Am I Rolling. We've also got the DM's Book Club, which is a weekly book club podcast talking about some Dungeons and Dragons and discussing how we might include them in our role-playing campaigns. We've got an episode coming out today, which is a bonus episode where it's in my favourite place of all places, Five Guys. We did a little bonus episode a couple of weeks ago when my co-host Hamilton was in town. It's a bit rough and ratty, but hopefully you'll enjoy it, because it was quite a nice conversation to have in person, I think, a nice discussion, so go check that out as well. Anything else I could say? No, not really. Hopefully I will see some of you tomorrow. If not, the next Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG we will be doing is going to be on Sunday. We're going to do some Colossal. Read through some Colossal. I think we're going to read through Colossal rather than play it. It's a game that I would like to play on one or another, so maybe I'll make that as a stream at another point. But we're going to look at Colossal, which basically is like you like stuff like the min pins, borrowers, etc. But also like Horizon Forbidden West and Horizon Forbidden Dawn, Horizon whatever West. Yeah, all those games where it's like you're a small thing and a great setting. Come check that out on there. And then Monday, we're also going to look at stuff like the Wild Sea. So I plan to look at the quick start for the Wild Sea. But also on Monday, we're starting Auto Blues over on RP Geeks, which is going to be great. I maybe should get like a trailer or something so I can put at the end of these things so you can come check it out. Yeah, those are all the things that are happening. If you're interested in coming up and finding some more, she says, trying to find the OBS. Where's it gone? Ooh, Colossal, love that game. Oh, hello. Oh, Super Dylan, hello, my friend. We are literally just finishing. I'm so sorry. We'll be back tomorrow with part 2. Ooh, Wild Sea, did I hit? Yes, we're going to do the quick start for Wild Sea next Monday before Orbital Blues. So there you go. But yes, what was I going to say? If you want to, there is also, she says can't spell Discord. If you want to come and see whenever else I'm doing these things, check out the Discord. So yeah, we're going to probably finish part 2 of this Don't Play This Game tomorrow, and go from there. I'm so sorry, Super Didn't. You literally come as we're just finishing off. I have to go off and do fun things, but I hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, that's all I have time for. All I've got to say just now. But thank you so much for being a part of the stream. Thank you so much for the people in the chat for helping me, sort of sensitive test and go, is this too horrible? And you're like, no, more. I very much appreciate it. No apologies, friend. Well, no, it's good to have you in the chat, my friend. Right. I'm going to get water. I'm going to go get ready. I'm going to go see a musical tonight. I'm going to see Operation Mincemeat. It's going to be one of my last musicals whilst I'm in this current place. Very much looking forward to it. So, there you go. Much love. Hope wherever you are, my friends, playing wonderful games. And I will see you tomorrow. As she says, trying to find the end of stream button. And, yeah. Keep safe. Bye.